Welcome back to another edition of The Drive presented by oddschecker. With me, as always, my guy, Andy Lack at ADP Lack Sports on Twitter. Inside Sports Network, you find some great work over there. Pumps it out all week long. Him and the boys over at ISN. We're here to talk about the Cognizant Classic, and it is only out of respect for oddschecker that I'm referring to it on the intro as the Cognizant. From now on in the show, and in anything but the title of this video, for me, it is the Honda. It will always be the Honda. But we're off like quickly, Andy. Insane week in Mexico. The Magic is not for sale. Not the outcome anyone was expecting. But hey, just I know this might sound really corny. You don't see that on Live, and the fields wouldn't allow for that. But the PGA Tour runs what feels like a Monday Night Raw schedule, the circus. They don't take enough weeks off. We wish they would run less, truthfully. But when they do give us what they gave us yesterday, it was truly, truly magical. You know, talking to my dad, he was pulling for the guy who's like last in the field in driving distance versus this young monster. But the bigger reason being like this Aldrich kid passes the eye test. He'll be here again soon. He'll win, no doubt. This could be the only time Mr. Campbell could have ever done something like that. Magic was on his side. Magic is not for sale. The PGA Tour, man, just when you think they're gonna, it's like the lowest event on the worst course. Poof.
Yeah, I thought yesterday was an electric factory, man. I mean, I was thinking about why that was because none of the players were stars. I'm not a fan of the golf course. It didn't seem like there was a lot of cultural or historical relevance to the event at all. I don't even know if I didn't even notice too many fans there.
Except on
But
18, they're pretty rowdy.
Sure, but I think what it brought was authentic drama and variance, right? Um, there was uh, a true sense of if you looked away, you would have missed something wild happening, right? And you could tell that every player in that position, and I know I certainly had a few of them coming down the stretch that wanted no part of winning that golf tournament. Um, it mattered to them, right? And you saw that in their nerves, you saw that in their play. Their play wasn't always, um, it wasn't necessarily the best golf that I've ever seen in my life, but it was real golf and it was real drama. Um, and like you eloquently outlined, Geoff, you can't manufacture that, you can't reproduce that. And that's why I am happy to be doing these videos with you every week. I will keep coming back. I mean, I started a career based on a company that is hopeful that people will continue to pay attention to the PGA Tour for years to come. I'll keep following this crazy stuff as long as you will, and I'll be happy to be breaking it down with you till we're 6 feet under.
And we head to Palm Beach, the Honda, PGA National. I love this course. I love this event. Do I wish a lot of the guys who are playing TGL 12 minutes down the road, so many of them live 12 minutes from the course were playing? Sure, of course I do. But I don't know, for me, PGA National always delivers, and I'll get right into it with the odds board. And I'll say this off the top, Andy. I love these odds boards because when the odds board starts at 20 with our favorite Shane Lowry looking at the odds checker grid, it is consensus across the board, those 20s and your Russell Henleys at 22. I know you're a big Henley guy, so don't take too much offense to this. But when the odds board starts there, I just love it. Not only
Yeah.
the number, but a bunch of guys, Sung Jae, yeah, like a bunch of guys that just don't win. There's just
Yeah.
a bunch of non-winners starting at 20 to 1 atop this odds board. I believe there's opportunities. I'm not going too far behind, but I mentioned Henley at 22. Seb Straka, former winner here before. He certainly got a bit of win equity. I'm not going to take that away from him. Sung Jae, who's drifted back today because seeing 25s now. I don't think I saw those this morning. Daniel Berger. I don't know that it's that easy. He a lot of love for Berger. I love Berger. The trajectory of Berger now being expected to win at this price,
The
uh,
big ass.
I'm not really there. I'm right behind though, Andy. But before we move on, any of these guys at the top on your card?
Yeah, I mean, I trusted my numbers and bet Henley and Berger, but I don't really have a strong case against anyone who uh, believes that you're just paying too high of a price for players that don't win nearly enough. I will say this, um, I bet Henley at 25,
Yeah.
and my fare on him in this field was 16. I expected Henley to be like 16 to 1 in this field. I truly believe that Henley, I mean, I have for a long time. I mean, playing this guy at majors and stuff. Um, Sung Jae is completely non-functional with his approach play. I mean, there's a lot of people, Minwoo Lee, Benny On, Sung J M, Davis Thompson, Cameron Young, like none of these guys can hit an iron right now. And we can say what we want about Henley and Berger, but um, it would be spitting in the face of all the data that I spend so much time creating. And they're the best. And I thought 30 to 1 on Berger was fine, and 25 on Henley was fine. I think their current numbers are a little more testy, and I wouldn't spit in the face of anyone who wanted to take more bullets and go farther down the board. But I think you can still do that with a 25 to 1 and a 30 bet. I was struggling finding ways to make a full card, Jeffrey, this week.
See, I'm a bit different, Andy, and I didn't go much further than you down because I'm right behind you. Like I am on your bumper in terms of who I have bet. But there are a lot of guys, like my first cut in terms of like looking at the board and just putting a check behind beside a name, a guy I want to look at again, a guy I'm not discounting, a guy that could end up on a final card. It was a long list, longer than I would have liked. But I'm gonna start by going back to a horse. Taylor Pendrith, 30 to 1. Hand up, guilty. Part of the crew that overbet Pendy at the Genesis. We took that number pretty much down to 28, 30 to 1. I was
Yeah.
in on an earlier number, much better. I look at
Yeah.
it this week, Andy, and I'm like, it's the same freaking number that he went off at the Genesis. Quality driver, quality iron play. He has the bag here that I really like that should excel at a place like this. We've seen some of his best results come at not the longer courses, despite his profile being able to hang at the longer courses. So I'm all in on Pendrith here, not getting off that wagon. And you know what? I blushed when you said the name, but I felt a little guilty. Min Woo Lee,
Yeah.
35 to 1, a second place here a year ago. Um, you do need, I mean, the approach game is hit and miss. The irons, I do believe, and I think
There's upside there.
there's upside. That you could see it trending in the right direction. I think of all places on tour, this is a really strong place for Minwoo. Lethal driver, can be a really high end putter. We're betting outright winners. So if we just what's the word? Eject, because there'll be a lot of ejections. We're back on the East Coast. People golf's not starting at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's starting early. So by the time you're scrolling, maybe at 11 a.m., we're going to see some huge numbers. That's PGA National. But playing to win this sucker, I'm all in on Minwoo Lee at at 35 to 1. So Minwoo and Pendrith, I'm right behind you there, Andy. We can get into the next here. Davis Thompson, strongly considered. Cameron Young's played well here before. That player type of Ben Griffin is a guy that I've certainly looking at. Jordan Spieth is here though. So I do not have a bet in this range. If you do share it, or just give me your 2 cents on Spieth. A great for the people of the Palm Beaches. Great late addition, Jordan Spieth. I'm not looking to bet him, but would you fade him? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would actively fade him. I mean, I didn't
So
even get,
you're looking for a Kittyama head to head. I know you are.
Yeah, well, I don't think Kitayama can make enough putts to win the tournament, but I would take Kitayama
Yeah,
over Spieth. I think Billy Horschel can make enough
yeah.
putts to win the
Hmm.
tournament. I bet Billy at 55 to 1. Maybe the line may have even moved against me
It's
there. There
moved. It's been very popular today, Andy. When I saw
well,
that 55, I didn't bet it. I said it was
okay.
probably the fairest number on the board. I feel silly for not doing it. I don't think I'll get there in the end, but popular
What
picked
is
it.
the best that it's now? 45-50, or is there still 55?
You know what? There
Love the
might
odd checker grid myself. Sorry about that,
no,
Jeffrey.
there might you know what? There are still 55s. It's as low as
Yeah,
33. So a place or
that's
two have
crazy.
crashed it, but you are right. Checking that odds checker grid, the 55s, they still hang.
Yeah. So I bet Burger, or excuse me, I bet oh gosh. Well, there's Burger 28 remaining. I bet Billy 55, and then I suppose I'll include him in this range. I bet him at 80 to 1 on DraftKings last night.
Lee Hodges.
Yeah.
I'm in with you on that one, buddy. So
Am
there, we're going to be on
I
someone
that
together.
predictable?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I have my guys. I know the guys that talk, they're gonna get their steam in the Discord and stuff, but 75 I thought's a good number. I do. I think, and
Who did
that's
you say there at 75? I missed it. Sorry.
Hodges. Hodges.
Yes.
Yeah,
I still
I
like it
bet
at 75. I like it at 70.
total.
Honestly, I thought it would be, I thought he'd be with the guys at 50. So
Yeah,
anything over like 55, I'll still ride or die
totally.
with people on Lee Hodges. He is an improved. It's that trusted driver. You certainly know the irons, and he's got a new putting approach that is certainly working for him at the moment. So I'm betting on him.
Yeah, I'm with you wholeheartedly. Um, he's won the 3M Open before. That's one of my favorite comparative golf courses in terms of super water heavy. A lot of middle irons. There's been a lot of crossover at those two golf courses, very similar architecture. And that's kind of my four pack now. I have room to add. But I went 25 Henley, 30 Berger, 55 Billy, and 80 Hodges. And I have room, not somebody it's not going to be somebody at the top of the board, but maybe Gerard 80, I was circling around.
What do you make of Luke Clanton?
Uh, I don't like, I'm high on the talent. I don't think this is the golf course that you want to invest in him. I think there are
So
better golf courses for him.
I'm
I
going a
don't
little farther back, Andy. 65 to 1. I've also come here today with four bets: Pendrith, Minwoo, Hodges, and I'm going right back to it. Nikolai Højgaard, just
yeah.
striking it beautifully. If he can get the putter to work, I know that's a big ask, but you won't need to make nearly the amount of putts hit the Palm Beaches that you would have to have won Mexico. We've seen last year a lot of corollary success in the results of guys that had top tens in Mexico, came over, piggybacked other great weeks at the Palm Beaches. So if that has people on your boy Smalley or Ben Griffin, I could see why they're have gained some steam today. But for me, it's Højgaard with the I trust the driver, I trust the approach play here. So he is part of my four bets this week.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, I just think the talent alone. I did like last week's golf course for him a little bit better than this one. I was super heavy on him last week. On number alone, I'm not going to argue with the talent there. Um, that's I'm gonna find somebody else, Jeffrey. I mentioned Gerard. Um, I don't- Eric Cole, maybe. So I've got somebody to add
Yeah.
in the 40s and
And
50s, but it wasn't a board. Maybe I'm different than you this week. It wasn't a board that was speaking to me in ways that prior weeks have. So we'll DJ.
Gerard shout, Andy, it looks, I mean, you open up the numbers and I
I
could
think I
see,
missed the best number on him though.
yeah,
I
there
really,
were nine. I want to say there were some 90s that I saw. He got, he got put up by a few people on Monday morning, caught some steam. Easy to see why, truthfully, when you open up a bit of his current form. And then when you check it on the odds checker grid, It's still as high as 80 over at FanDuel, but it has dropped to 55 in some shops. So, right, some books have been quick to slash that one. Ryan Gerard could end up being a very popular player, but you stare down the player's results, and it's easy to see why.
Yeah, totally. All right, brother. Well, a tournament that both of us love. You won't be there. I won't be there.
No.
We have a bunch of my buddies that will be there. I wish I was going to be there. I really want to check out the vibe going down in Palm
I've
Beach.
heard that listen,
I want to check out GL.
it's lost some steam, it's lost some
Yeah, for sure.
sponsors. And unfortunately, some of the build outs I heard aren't as big in years past. I've always been there. It's been quite a great
Still a
time.
fun
And
area though.
outside of Phoenix, for people that have kind of been everywhere, it's kind of almost like the second biggest party on the PGA Tour is what
Yeah,
happens on the weekend out at the Palm Beaches. You can't blame them.
yeah.
But
No,
watching the game is great. Winning on it is even better. Odds Checker gives you an AI powered insights to real time odds so you can spot trends, find value, and turn your knowledge into action. Why just why just watch when you can be part of the action? Visit oddschecker.com. Get in on the game. Oddscheckers for entertainment purposes only and does not offer real money betting. Remember, gambling should be fun, so bet responsibly. If someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call 1-800-GAMBLER in the US. Andy is on Berger. He is on Henley. He is on Lee Hodges. And I forget your guy in the middle.
Billy, Billy.
Billy. Billy Ho, a true winner out of this group this week. And I'm on Minwoo, Pendrith, Nikolai Hoygaard, and with Andy on Hodges. For Andy, we'll be back next week signing off. It's me, Geoff Fienberg.
API.
Smash that like, goes a long way to supporting the guys. Leave a comment if you wish. We're out.